Hey everyone, Annie and Julie here. We are so excited to dive into one of our all-time favorite wealth building strategies, using whole life insurance to maximize your investment returns. Bear with me, because I know that when you look up whole life policies, there's a whole lot of chatter out there. It's like, it's too expensive. You should get term life. Well, this is not your average whole life policy. This is a very specific, fine-tuned type of whole life policy. And so Julie and I have been using this with ourselves, with our families for many years. When there's a great opportunity that comes along, rather than invest with cash from our savings account, now we're pulling it from our whole life policy. We're pulling that money out. We're investing it over here. Now it's growing in the investment and it's still continuing to grow in the whole life policy. There's that double dipping that happens. You can't find that anywhere else.
I did a really fun thing. My oldest daughter was 4 or 5 at the time. One of the things that I thought about at that time was, how am I going to afford an Ivy League education if my daughter wanted to go to Ivy League, right? I looked up at that time what the cost was going to be down the road in 10, 13 years. And it was like $300,000, it said. And I'm like, oh, where am I going to find $300,000? I have 3 kids. What if they all decided they wanted to go to college? Or what if they decided that they wanted to start a business or buy a house or whatever it was? And so I was trying to figure out a way to leverage time, because at the time my kids were, 5, 4, and 3 or something like that. And so what I did was I bought a single family home, and I think I put like $37,000 into the home as a down payment. And I structured the policy. Now, this is on my daughter's policy. She's insured, and structured it so that every month the cash flow from the rental property would pay the premium. And so it was $250 a month is what I thought I was going to get. And that was the monthly premium that we had structured the policy for. When she turns 18, that policy will be hers to utilize the cash value that's in there. And then the equity that was built in the home over the next 13 years or so should be enough to get us to that 300,000. And that's what I did. And my daughter, in like the next 4 years, that 18 is going to hit. And we've been talking about, how do I use the policy, Mom? I'm like, well, how you use it is, if you need to buy a car, let's say you lose your job and you need to pay rent. Let's say that you want to start a business, and let's say you need to buy this big fancy machine that costs $10,000. You don't come to Mommy anymore. You go to your policy. And so that's how we're using our whole life insurance policy for my kids. And so each one of them has their own policy.
As they get into young adulthood, they're at the beginning in many ways of their wealth building journey, but you've already pre-started it for them. And so when they start out as young adults, they will be way ahead of their peers because they've got this emergency fund, so to speak, that's growing. Whether they're doing anything with it or not, it's going to continue to grow for the rest of their lives. It's an asset in their estate. At any time, if they need the money, like you said, for a down payment for a car, they pull from that, and they don't have to go to the bank and get a traditional loan. They don't have to come to you, and all of a sudden you have to come up with this money, or you say no and it causes friction. They already have this preloaded for them. And so then as you think forward, they have their own business, or they have a house now, they have a car. Now that value in the whole life policy, now they can pull it out and invest with it. It's something that very few people know about. And our goal here is just to give you a little peek into how it works, what it means, so that you can decide if it's right for you. And if so, then to connect you with the people who we've worked with for many years to make sure that you structure your policy just right for your goals.
If you have even the slightest bit of curiosity or interest in this, book a call with these guys. We only align ourselves with people who are like us, and they are so education focused. And I would love for you to at least get educated. You don't have to do anything, but at least understand what it is, how it can work for you, and whether you decide to do it or not, at least it's something that you know you can use. And when you're ready, you have that knowledge of, how could this work for me and my family?
Okay, so this was the appetizer course. The main course is coming up. We're going to dive into all the ins and outs of how this strategy works.